Let's begin with the most basic artifact in a database, which is the table. A table is also known as entity, and each individual row or record, a tuple, is a single entity instance. Now, each record comprises of columns or attributes. So, employee ID, employee name, age, and gender are columns or attributes. Now, a table usually has a primary key. The primary key is the distinguishing factor for each row. For example, over here, the name Raj can repeat for more than one row. However, the primary key, which is employee ID over here, has to be unique for each row. A database is an interrelated collection of tables, whereas a database management system, that is DBMS, is a software which manipulates the database. So when we generally talk about database, it's the DBMS we are usually referring to. Now there are two popular notations for depicting your database models. The first one is ER diagram, the second one is UML. Now both in ER diagram and UML, an entity is shown using a rectangular box. A relationship in ER diagram is denoted using a diamond notation, whereas in UML it's denoted by a line. Attributes in ER diagram are denoted using ellipses or oblongs. The key attribute is usually underlined, the non-key attributes are not underlined. Whereas the attribute or the key attribute over here in UML diagram has a PK stereotype, whereas the non-key attributes do not have any stereotype. The attributes are shown in a separate compartment. So here is sample depiction for ER diagram and over here for UML. Do not worry about the relationships and all. Everything is going to be discussed in the coming sections. Many a times, some entities share some common attributes. In such a case, all the common attributes are collected in one entity and the specific attributes are placed in independent entities. So over here, the entity which has common attributes is the supertype and the entity which has specific attributes is the subtype. So this supertype subtype relationship in ER diagram is denoted using U, which is the subset notation, and over here in UML is denoted using an arrow which points toward the supertype. Next, we are going to discuss three aspects of relationship. The first one is multiplicity, second one is degree, and third one is optionality. Now multiplicity means how many entity instances are involved in a relationship. So over here, the first diagram, this is an entity and each individual row is an entity instance. So multiplicity can be one to one, one to many, or considering from the other side, it's many to one and many to many. So an employee can have one parking space and one parking space can belong to one employee. So one is denoted by one or dash on one side. Now a department can have many employees and an employee can belong to just one department. Many side is shown using a crow's feet symbol and one side is denoted using dash. A class can have many students and a student can take many classes, so it's denoted by crow's feet symbol on both sides. Later on, we'll discuss a procedure to decide whether an entity belongs to the one side or many side. The next aspect of relationship we are going to discuss is the degree. Now degree specifies how many independent entities are involved in a relationship. For example, in the first case, there is only a single entity having a relationship with itself. So it's a binary recursive relationship. Now in this case, there are two independent entities involved in a relationship. So this is a binary relationship. In this case, there are three entities involved. So it's a ternary relationship. Like this, you can have more than three entities involved, which is frankly very rare. Now the third aspect of relationship we are going to understand is optionality. Now optionality means whether a relationship is optional or mandatory. So over here, an employee can have a parking space or an employee can't have a parking space. So employee has 0 or 1 parking space. So an employee can exist without having a parking space. In the second case, a department can have 0 or more employees. That is, a department can exist without any employees in it.